up, everybody? How you feeling? We got another show, part two. We got a good friend of mine, William Allen, from the National Action Network. William Allen is, has another strong voice in the community. I want y'all to, stay here and give me a couple minutes. He should be on in a second. And the reason why I'm bringing William Allen out right now is because, there's a lot going on in the Harlem community with the protesting and the looting and the police brutality and stuff like that. And, the National Action Network is, which is ran by Reverend Al Sharpton, is very influential, not just in the Harlem community, even all communities, even around the world, if need be. So it's like right now we got to get real serious, and we got to get, we got to dig into everything that's going on right now, with black people and these cops. It's like, it's just too much. It's too much, and everybody's sick and tired of it. That's why you see all this stuff that's going on. I mean, since I've been alive, I might think this might be the biggest one that I've seen that people stood up for this time around. And they're still doing it as we speak. It's like, when is enough is enough, like, you could be caught dead to right as a police officer on a video, and they still hesitate to lock you up. They still hesitate to convict you. It's like crazy. It's like a smack in the face. So you got society right now, it's like, especially the millennials, the youngins, they don't trust police. They not feeling the police energy. So the first thing they think is like get on guard when the police come around, because they don't want the police to hurt them. Or they don't want the police to kill them. And that's sad that we got to be out here in society, and every time police call come by, they got to be looking at us. Looking at us for what? We ain't even doing that. We in our own community. We just chilling out. But you looking at us. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what we doing, or hoping we doing something we ain't got no business doing, so you can jump out and you can lock us up. And people tired of that. They don't go in the white neighborhoods to do that. They don't do that. They do that in the black neighborhoods. They target us. And no, I'm not racist, but I'm keeping it real as a black man. And this has to stop. This has to stop. And people need to keep on pushing and keep on fighting until it stops, because, a peaceful protest doesn't work all the time. Ain't nobody wants drama. Nobody want, to be looting and starting fires and all that. But in order to get attention, you got to make noise, They say no justice, no peace. And so until we get justice, I guess it ain't going to be no peace. So like I said, we got William Allen, the Honorable William Allen, coming on the show. He should be coming on in a minute. I just spoke to him. And he's going to come on and he's going to talk. And he's going to go into it. He's going to get into some real stuff that the community needs to hear about. The people that are not aware about what's going on, he's going to fill you in. And that's the reason why I got him on the show, because we need to get serious about what's going on out here in our community. Miss Wonderful, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate your support. I do this for the community. I do this for everybody. This is my way of giving back. William Allen just pulled up, so I want you to stay tuned. We're going to talk to the brother. Very honorable brother. We're going to talk to him. And he's going to tell you what he's been doing and the things that's been going on. This is a very busy man, and I appreciate him, taking up his time, to spend some time on Vibing with Don Vito show. So, Will, you got to hit that request button. I see you on there. Hit the request button, and then we can roll. So let me kind of get you in here. He's right there, but he's not hitting the request button as of yet. There you go. William Allen's about to pull up to the show. So thank y'all for tuning in. Action Network, William Allen. About to go live. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Ah,
Welcome, welcome.
thank you, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. See you in a couple months, man.
I know, man. You should have saw me maybe a week ago. I didn't have a haircut.
Hey, listen, you looking better than me. I don't even want to take my hat off.
Uh,
Yeah, get you some air in there, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that COVID-19 had me like say, I'm gonna wait for a little while before I get a cut.
yep,
But being that you got one, I guess it's safe to say I can go get me one this weekend or something.
yeah. You can go get you one,
Yeah. So how you been, brother, man? How's everything?
man. This is the busiest time ever. I mean, it's like 7 days a week of work, work, work. So many people are in very desperate situations, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that God has blessed me with what I got, and I'm able to help some others, man.
Right. So before we begin, I just want you to tell everybody who you are and what organizations you work with and work for, and then we
Okay.
go into the show.
I am the Democratic District Leader of Harlem, the 70th Assembly District. I'm also the National Crisis Director of the National Action Network, which is founded and led by the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. And I do a bunch of other things too, but those are the two key jobs I have.
All right. So I haven't seen you in a couple of months. So I just want to go. I want to start off with the COVID-19 when we first found out. I'm gonna say New York City that this thing was running rampant. How you feel about where was your energy at when that happened?
When it happened, it was shocking because one, it never happened in my lifetime, nor the lifetime of my parents, and probably not even my grandparents. So we wasn't sure initially how to respond. At one point, they said it didn't affect black people, then they said it didn't affect kids, and they didn't do this and that. And all of a sudden, we saw it affecting a whole lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and a whole lot of people that we love dearly, unfortunately, caught the virus and they died. You
Yeah.
know, some people famous and some people that live right next door. Um, so it was a sad period, um, but I'm just so happy that the community got organized and started to respond to it in a positive way in terms of how to address it, how to look out for one another.
Okay. So right after that, so this is 2020 has been a hell of a year. I've been telling people, right? First we
Yep.
had the death of Kobe Bryant. That was big.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was crazy.
That was crazy. Then we had COVID-19. Now, we got George Floyd
Yeah.
and this police brutality, which turned into a murder scene on camera. And now everybody's joined together to make a difference. So how you feeling? Let's take it from the beginning when you first seen it on television. How did you feel about that?
About George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd. So
Um, it was a sad situation, but it was that situation that I think really woke up all the generations because he's not the first one to be
right,
lynched by the police,
exactly.
but because it happened during the coronavirus period, where everybody was locked in their houses,
Mm-hmm.
and people couldn't go to school, couldn't go to work. It made us all focus on that. Say, holy shit, this is really happening.
Yeah,
I haven't heard from so many white friends and people in my life who were really upset, and I had to say to them, I said, "This is not the first time this happened." I
mm-hmm.
said, "You just woke up and now realize what is happening to us, and now you got to help me do something about it."
Right.
So George, unfortunately, whose life was sacrificed for many of us to see what we were not doing or what we should be doing.
Yes. And yeah, I agree with you. Me and a buddy of mine, we had called him the sacrificial lamb for
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yep.
You know. So, how did you feel when the officers were on camera killing George Floyd and they didn't get arrested right away?
I was very upset. I felt like Reverend Sharpton said, when that knee was on George's neck, I felt like it was on my head. And I said, if it can happen to him, it's happening to me. And the fact that they took so long to do anything about those officers show how corrupt the police system is. It's on tape. And this is not the first time we videotape a black man being murdered or near murdered. If you think about Rodney King in California, that was back in the 90s. Look at what was going on. They were kicking him in the head.
Hey.
And so then, you know, when people started protesting and rioting, and then they said, oh, they're looting. That's a whole it. They looted in the 60s. I said, when people finally see that they have no way out and that the society is corrupt, don't start pointing at the looters. Stop pointing at what you haven't done right. The fact that all these people have been dead or near dead all these years and you haven't said anything, to me, that's looting.
Right.
That's looting. Now, I'm not saying I'm justifying any kind of criminal behavior. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it's kind of ironic that the folks that caused these bad laws and supported these bad cops, they can speak on what is lawful, but they cannot speak on what's unlawful when it comes to the police. That ain't right.
That ain't right. That's crazy.
That ain't right.
That's crazy. So you went back to Rodney King. I didn't forget about it, but you just made me remember it. You know, we have a history of the police brutality.
That's right.
In the black neighborhoods.
That's right.
You know, like we said, with saying is, when is this going to stop? Why do you keep picking on us? What do we do for you to keep picking on us?
That's right. When is it going to stop?
You know, it's like, and these kids today, these millennials, when they see a cop, they think the cop is going to hurt them as soon as they see a cop.
That's right. They do. Talk to them. That's exactly what they say. You know, I've been a professor at John Jay College since 2000. Black students, particularly black males in my classes, have dwindled, where black males are not interested in law enforcement. And it has a lot to do with how law enforcement treats us. And so they're not going to want to join that if they then realize that that's an enemy of their community.
Right. Yep. So when you saw these officers try to all of a sudden now take a kneel down, you know, how did you feel about that?
They took a kneel? What do you mean?
Remember they kneeled down on their knee?
Oh, in honor of what happened?
Yeah.
I thought that it was about time. You know, let me just say this. I was happy to see that, but I'd rather for them to take a kneel when their colleagues are corrupt in their own precinct. I'd rather them take a kneel when not enough of our kids are being educated in the community in which they're policing. Right. So it's nice to do the ceremonial thing, and I appreciate that. But I'm hoping that this can't just be one day. They have to be able to police their colleagues. They got to be able to say, you know what, this is wrong. They got to speak up, or they just as guilty.
Yes.
You know, don't take it. I mean, I'm happy that they're kneeling, but don't just kneel now because everybody else kneeling. Kneel when it's not popular. How about that?
Exactly. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah, we all can go to the concert when all the tickets are sold out. Then everybody wants to go. Then you know how back in the day when we were young and we would try to decide which party we were going to go to. So we asked 4 of our friends, you know about this party? You know about this party? And if we get like a large number of people say, yo, man, that's the party to go to, that's where we went. So when something is popular, it's easy to follow the popular people. My concern is when it's not popular, will you still speak up? Right. Will you still speak up?
So I've seen Reverend Al Sharpton's been doing a lot with, speaking and also supporting, George Floyd's family and just the black community in general.
Yes.
So the National Action Network, what kind of steps do y'all take to get this message out there and show to the community?
Well, first of all, thank God for Reverend Sharpton. Could you imagine if he did not exist when this took place?
Wow.
Think of any other civil rights leader that have addressed police brutality in America. You can't name them.
You can't name him.
It's him. And they used
Yeah.
to tease the guy, and you know the way he dressed, how his hair, and he's not like a. They didn't think he was not like a Dr. King. They didn't think he was like a Malcolm X. But just imagine what America would be like if we didn't have a Dr. Sharpton. You know, it would be a different place. So he created the National Action Network to be a grassroots organization where ordinary people can get involved in the action and the movement and bring change in their community. And so we have over 100 chapters all across the country. I'm familiar with all of them. As the National Crisis Director, we have people that call from all across the country seeking Reverend Sharpton and the organization help. And when they call in, part of my job is to match them with a local chapter that can provide advocacy and support. A lot of times things happen to us and we feel alone. So what Nan does, Nan makes sure that you don't feel alone in your situation. Now, we don't please everybody. Some people will call up and say, yo, man, the stuff that you did for Eric Gartner, you know, you're not helping me the same way. And I said, listen, last month you told me you're going to come to the chapter meeting to meet the people that want to support you. You didn't show up. People naturally will support you if they can connect to you and see you. Just like the George Floyd family, they saw his brother, his kids, his relatives, and they were able to connect because they saw them. I said, so if you decide not to show up and all of a sudden you mad at us for not doing something, well, you ain't doing something. You got to show up so we know who you are and put some legitimacy around your crisis so we can all work together. So that's pretty much part of my job. And I got to tell you, it's one of the best jobs I've ever had, man. It's one of the best jobs in terms of feeling like I'm really helping somebody. It's such a good feeling, man. It's such a good feeling. I love it. I love it. And, you know, a lot of people all up in Dr. Sharpton's face. And I do my work kind of quietly because I believe that your work speaks for you. And since I've been there since last year, February, I've had over 4,000 cases. 4,000 people. 4,000.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Crazy, right? That's a lot. And I kept saying, how did I get through all this? Well, a lot of it, people just needed referrals. They needed just connected. They just need to know whether or not they were doing the right thing. They were connecting to the right lawyer, or they were calling the right school official, or some guy. They just need to have someone listen to them so they can have a strategic plan. And that's what my team and I do.
Right.
Yep.
So far as the protesting and stuff, in let's say in Harlem, were you pleased to see what you saw?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I was actively somewhat involved in two. I became active in one of them by accident. I was invited as a speaker, and all of a sudden people said that I was the sponsor. And I was accused of not letting the Assemblywoman Inez Dickens speak. And I want to go on record that was not the case. I got there early. I did know the young man and the lady that put it together. Apparently, they have a lot of respect for me. And I asked them, as I saw other civic leaders show up, I said, please let these people speak. I even asked them to let Inez speak. It wasn't Craig who said, no, no, no. It was a woman that knew Inez for a long time, and she didn't want her to speak.
Wow.
And I said, wow, this is bad. You know, and so actually I got accused of not allowing Inez to speak, and I'm the one who was advocating for her to speak. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. But out of the negotiations, I was able to get the President 100 Black Men to speak. Michael Gartner, Assemblyman Al Taylor spoke, Aisha Sekou spoke, and there was some other young people that needed to have the mic. So I was able to at least influence Craig and Nellie Bailey to allow those people to speak. And I wish I could have been more successful in terms of helping Inez to speak, because I believe if an elected official show up, you know, whether you believe in their politics or not, you should at least still hear them and ask them questions.
Right.
You may not agree with them, but the fact they showed up is to me saying that they value your meeting.
Yes.
You know, and they're sharing their time with you. So that's something I strongly believe in, and I'm hoping that Inez is listening to this because I've been trying to catch up with her and let her know, but we haven't been able to talk. But I strongly believe in that. Another rally I helped out with was called 100 Men. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that.
Last Thursday. It made Vogue magazine, and it was the most well-dressed protest probably in American history.
Right.
All the brothers was told to wear their Sunday best, their worship best, their suits and tie, and it came out looking incredible. And I'm just so proud of that event. And I want to just go on record to thank James Felton Keith. We call him JFK. He invited me along with Corey Ortega to be co-sponsors, and it was just incredible. And so I was very honored to do that. And of course, through National Action Network, we've done other events in Staten Island and other places to dramatize the importance of protest and rally and then action. And sometimes people say, well, all you're going to do is rally and protest. No, the protest and rally is to bring public attention so we can tell you the story.
Right.
You know, we got to tell you the story, so we have to create an event so you can be attracted to, so we can then tell you what those next steps are. So our protest events and rallies is meant to do that purpose.
So how do you feel about the youth of our community participating in the protesting?
They are stepping up, bro.
Wow.
I've been waiting a lifetime to see young people claim their power.
Yes.
Stop waiting for someone to do something for them that's positive and say, you know what, we're going to get it done ourselves. And that remind me when I was a kid, when I was a youth leader, I didn't wait on nobody. You know, neither did my friends, Courtney Bennett. You know, we were young teenagers. I became the first teenager appointed to a community board. And how I got that is because I was able to meet with my councilman on a regular basis. And I had heard that a white kid named Scott Stringer was about to be appointed. And I said to him, I said, why can't a black kid be appointed? Why can't we beat Scott first?
Right.
And I'll never forget, I was sitting in Councilman Fred Samuel's office, and he called Percy Sutton. And he said, Percy, I have a kid that needs to be the first kid to be appointed as a teenager to a community board. We understand that you're about to appoint City Councilwoman Inez Stringer's son. I like to see this young William Allen to be the first. He's out of Menacing. And Percy Sutton said, that's what we're going to do. And so that's how history got made. You ask, you follow through, you get recognized. So with young people, you know, the fact that they're now stepping up, I like to see them do more of that. Here in Harlem, we have 12 high schools. I would like to see every high school have a student government. Let's make leadership sexy, as Andre Hero would say, champagne and bubbles. That makes it sexy for young people, not only to be CEOs of companies. What about leaders of their community? Let's make it attractive.
There you go.
Let's make it attractive. And let them know their power. Let them know that when they get that little change or a few dollars in their pocket, say, yo, where are you going to go spend that at? Spend that where you know they're going to give you a job, a scholarship, and an opportunity. If they're not going to do that, take your money someplace else. Take it someplace else. So these young people, I know with the blackout for July 7th, I'm hearing so many young people talk about it. So I think, and I want to also say, thank God for Donald Trump, too. You got Donald Trump, the coronavirus, the murder of George Floyd. I mean, you have how many other things that need to happen to wake us up?
I'm trying to tell you.
If you don't get up now, something's wrong. You're not gonna never get up.
It can't get no worse than that.
You can't get no worse than that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. It can't get no worse than that.
Yep.
And all three of these situations are still in the air.
Yep.
All
Somebody
three of
just texting, "Are we hiring?" I don't know what do you mean hiring? If you're looking for jobs, contact us. We got some leads for you.
them. Okay, there you go.
But you got to do some community service.
There you
Jobs
go.
through me is about public service. So if you are prepared to do something to help out the community, I'll help you find a job.
There you go. One hand wash the other one.
Yep. And the other one, watch the feet.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question. So you said you had 100 black men with suits on. How was that experience, man?
It
'Cause
was actually it was more than that.
right.
Did I said you saw the picture, right?
I saw the picture. Yeah.
Yo,
I
it
was
was
kind of
like,
upset, to be honest with you, because I should have been a part of that, but I didn't get the memo.
let me tell you, I found out about it a couple of days before it happened.
Right.
Just so happened, James Felton Keith happened to call me up a few days before. He said, "William, can we use your name and stuff to get this out? And can you, share it? Can you post it?" I said, "Okay." And I didn't expect it to turn out that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when I saw it, I was like, "Wow, what did I add my name to?"
Mm.
I said, "This was incredible." And what's interesting, me and Corey Ortega was criticized, saying, "Well, how come you guys lend your name to this? You sure it's going to be legit? You sure there may not be some problems?" And some people were trying to cause us to have doubt, because
Right.
prior to that, we were involved in this event at the state office building where some
Mm-hmm.
leaders got upset that they wasn't participating. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh my God, did I do the right thing?" So I then called back to James Felton Keith, JFK. I said, "JK, people are concerned." He said, "William, don't be concerned." He said, "This is going to be incredible." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, who else is about?" He said, "Watch, this is going to be incredible." He said, "I give you my word."
Mm.
And I said, "James, I'm going to take your word." And so I really want to give all thanks to James Felton Keith, because he's really the one that brought us all together on his team to pull us together. And some people were thinking that was just political, because James had announced that he was running for Congress, but what people didn't realize, James dropped out the race. And sometimes people just think that people are just doing things just for political sake, and they sometimes diminish people's need to be involved to lead something. But I stand on the record. James Felton Keith does not do things because it's political. This young professional is truly committed. He is so smart, so strategic, and I really value his friendship, and I'm glad that he's an active member of the Uptown Democratic Club.
Mm.
Craig, who's a young attorney who organized the other event, who's really trying hard. Because sometimes, the old heads will try to keep the young people out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. When people try to keep folks from being involved and allowing them to show their own leadership, I'm not a hater. I'll go and say, "Yo, what can I do to help?" Or I'll say, "I see that you want to run for office. Have you thought about the following things? What's causing you to run?" I'll ask questions, but I'm not going to isolate them, and I'm not going to demagogue them, because now they have an interest in running. And hey, they might want to run for my seat. I'm not going to say, "Oh, yo, that person running for my seat is an enemy or a criminal," something. I'm going to say, "Hey, welcome." Because most of the time when I ran, I always have an opponent. And I think sometimes when you have opposition, I think it makes you a better person, not a worse person.
Right. Exactly. It makes you step your game up, too.
Step your game up.
Your competition is good. Friendly competition is always
Friendly
good.
competition is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So when I saw the photo, I said, "This is hot." Let me tell you, because
which photo you saw? The one with me in the middle?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That's because I saw you. I said I saw
Yeah.
it. So they stereotype the black man. Will, you understand?
Yes.
Like they think, that black man. They look down on us. Put it like that. But to see everybody clean and look about their business, showing the unity. It was a collective. It's a collection of everything. It was like black power. That was real black power to me right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
At its finest.
Yeah.
Right, wrong.
Yeah. It's
We never
timely,
seen
man.
that nowhere.
We look
Ooh,
good. Exactly.
Ooh.
It's this. That picture went around the world. Vogue magazine covered it. I'm telling you, that's what we needed. And particularly now that you got an Oprah in her situation, a Tyler Perry in his, you got so much black wealth. Just imagine if we can really claim our power and our genius, how much further we would be as a culture.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding?
Far above the rest.
Far above the rest. We won't have to talk about no damn poverty. You know, for example, look in Chinatown. You don't hear about no Chinese unemployment and poverty because
Exactly.
as a culture, they are so organized that you're not going to be unemployed in their community.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be without business.
Right.
And I'm hoping that as a culture, we would do the same thing. It makes no sense to call Harlem ours when the only street in Harlem that has black-owned businesses really is 116th Street.
Wow.
Go to any other commercial thoroughfare in Harlem, and you can count the number of black-owned businesses on those strips.
Yeah.
Or black managed. Go check it out. Check it out.
What's
That's
that all
crazy.
about?
Because we must now hold ourselves accountable to each other.
Yeah. What about the gentrification in Harlem?
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that there shouldn't be white people in the neighborhood, but I feel that more black people shouldn't complain about them being in the neighborhood and step their game up.
That's
I think we had a conversation about that before. Let's talk on that. Let's talk about that.
Well, you look at the number of black church. My pastor, the late Preston Washington, he was a genius and he had great ideas. If the black church functioned like the Catholic Church did with parishes, we will have control of our real estate, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at all the black churches in Harlem, there's one on every corner, right? Just imagine if that church took responsibility for a 2-block radius of its church. Mm-hmm. And they really reached out to everybody that lived there. The property, they brought the property so that members can have housing. And you know what? Not only are we responsible for our church building, we're responsible for everything around it. And if we did that, we would have great wealth.
Right.
I mean, if you go to a Hasidic Jewish community, that's what they do.
Exactly.
They create community wealth. I mean, when this whole coronavirus started, there was some event I think I saw on the news with some of the Hasidims. I said, hold it. There's like 2,000 of them doing corona. How is that possible? But when a community is so organized and they understand their power around economic and politics, they're impenetrable. Mm-hmm. You know, and I applaud any culture that sticks together and makes sure that the members of its culture survive and are held accountable for their actions. Yeah. So if we did that, just imagine, I know there's a lot of reasons why we don't do it historically in America in terms of how we got here and how we were treated. But guess what? We know better now. Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. We know better now. So if we know better now, let's live that out.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. So, like you said, George Floyd got killed, murdered on videotape. How did that make you feel just to see that and say that they just try to play it down? It's like they can just do it, excuse my French, they can just do what the fuck they want to do it anytime they feel like it.
It was hard. Let me tell you, I kept looking at that video. I must have looked at it about 100 times. I said, that cop had his knee in the man's neck. Mm-hmm. And he had his pocket in his hand, and his hand is a pocket, which applied more pressure. And then his colleagues were also covering over the damn man. And then one of them decided to go to the front of the car to block the view. I said, this is a lynching. Yeah. It was in daylight. The guy had no weapon. And if you watch the whole video, they marching from one side of the street to another. The guy didn't do nothing to them. No weapon, no nothing. That's a whole. If these cops get off, I'm going off.
Yeah.
I'm serious. In fact,
Yeah.
I was talking to Keith Lilly. Keith Lilly called me maybe that night or the next morning. He said, yo, man, let's go to Minnesota. Let's go there now. He was
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
And I was feeling the same way that Keith Lilly was feeling, like, yo, we need to go.
Yeah.
And then we sat down and said, oh, you know what? I said, Keith, we may not get a knee in our neck here in New York, but the same practices exist in New York City.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
We got to figure out how to speak up about those and get that in check. So that's when the conversation started happening about defunding the police. Not so much getting rid of the whole department. We said, hold it. We need to now look at the police budget. Why are we supporting government lynching? We're paying taxes,
right,
and they're kicking our ass even when we're innocent.
Ain't that some shit?
We got to cut into this budget. We got to demand accountability. We got to let them know that we're their bosses. That's what we got to do. I said, also, you got all these precincts in every community, and there's a community council. I said, I want to start an advertising campaign for civic engagement that get young people in particular to take over these community councils and to monitor the precinct in their community. The budget, the hiring, the Comstat reports, look at everything. That's how we're going to bring about change. Right here in New York. You know, a lot of us expected a lot out of this mayor. He got elected because he was against stop, question, and frisk. You know, and now it looks like, you know, you elect these people, and part of the problem is after we elect people that we think are in our interest, we don't manage them. And I think that we failed to manage the current mayor to keep him accountable to the agenda that which he was elected on. Because I don't understand. He used to say a lot of positive things about the police, but I didn't hear him say enough things about helping young people. Like there's some stuff missing here. And the last couple of days, some folks were saying, I think over 400 staffers were complaining. So I'm hoping the mayor got the message that we need him to be the progressive voice that he was when he was first elected, that made us proud, and that we felt that we had a voice in City Hall. And we're not saying that all cops are bad. What we're saying is that policing in New York has to be different.
Yeah, it has to be better.
Different. And in that program, it has to be created in such a way that young black boys want to be cops.
Right.
You know, that there has to be a serious recruitment program that's going to attract black men to the department. And that means that the department has to be reinvented, and it has to be done correctly. A lot of middle-class jobs, after 5 years, you're making 6 figures? That can buy a lot of homes and a lot of kids to college. We need those jobs. We need those jobs. How many? They have, 40,000 employees?
Yeah.
40,000 cops, and that's not, that's just the police. That's not even the non-police in the department. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
So what you think okay, you say you were at a funeral or something earlier, something like that?
Yeah, I was actually here in New York. Reverend Sharpton he did the funeral today of George Floyd.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that, I'm getting all the phone calls. So whenever they're calling him, those calls actually come to me for analysis and to determine how he responds and how the organization responds. So today, I get hundreds of calls, man. I was in fact, my cell phone is still ringing. I'm really exhausted.
Yeah.
You say, Will, we need to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, man.
Only my bro. Only my bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I owe you one.
Oh,
Need me for something, I'm coming out. Don't worry about it. I'll be right there.
Yep.
Man, but I definitely appreciate your time. But what you think the next step is, man?
The next step is, I hope that you grow.
Yes.
Your next step, people knowing more about your show and being educated. Because not only you in the media, you're also an educator, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
people are learning so much from you. And so I want you to get bigger and to grow, because that means more people are going to be educated and in tune to what is right for their own lives.
Exactly. I appreciate it.
Yeah, folks need to get connected. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
if they don't belong to a black church, and you know, I know people say, why, people say, why any church? Okay, I'm pushing the black church. I'm sorry, right?
Yes.
People need to get acquainted back to their spiritual side and fellowship, and get on the right path with that, because that's helpful. People need to find the right civic organization to join. People need to have constructive meetings with their neighbors. We need to be able to do more things with our kids.
Yes.
When we see each other's doing wrong, we need to be able to pull each other to the side and get these things corrected. We need to be accountable to each other. So I'm hoping that those are the kind of things that are going to happen in the short term and in the long term as well.
Are there any programs out there that you know about, that people can get involved in, that can better the community or even help people?
Yep. If they call nationalactionnetwork.net 877-626-4651, I'll give them all the information they need.
There
I
you
got,
go.
as they say, a plethora of information to share. If they reach
Yes.
out to me, I'll be more than happy to be their mentor or direct them to someone that can spend one-to-one time with them and get them ready.
That's big. We need that, because they took away a lot of programs, man, you know?
Yep. Well, we can get them back. If we, like I said, if we become more politically conscious and economic conscious, no one can take away things that you have the power to create.
Right.
So if we're claiming our power, that's politically and economically, how can people take away anything of yours? They can't.
Right. Yeah.
So part of our mission got to be to show people how to claim their power, so those things cannot be taken away from us.
Okay. So if people want to get in touch, you just gave them the link right there, right?
Yep. NationalActionNetwork.net, 877-626-4651, 877-626-4651, and the website is NationalActionNetwork.net.
So, Will, my brother, I'm gonna let you go, because you're a busy man.
Yep.
You did a lot today. You got a lot going on tonight. You got a lot going on probably for the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
I appreciate your time. You know, I want you to go ahead and relax, man. You're home, and just take it easy.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get in touch with you, because I want to talk to you about a few things that I got in mind, and you can share some things with me also.
Man. And
I'm
let
gonna
me just say this to you, bro. I was so happy when you contacted me today, bro. I appreciate it. I know I was busy, but I knew that when you call, I know it's normally something really serious.
Yes.
So I value you, my brother, and I thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
And the love is here always, man. My brother. All right.
Okay, now
I'll be in touch with you. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah. Let's thank all the people that's watching in.
Yeah, we're thanking all the people that's watching in.
Yep. Appreciate you guys so much taking the time out of your schedule to listen to two brothers talk. We appreciate you, and we love you, and we need you.
Exactly.
We need you. And let us help you do your thing.
Exactly. That's what we're here to do.
Yep.
Have a good night, my brother. I'm going to call you.
Thank you, bro. Good night.
All right. Good
Peace
night,
and blessings.
brother. Peace. Yes, always.